Welcome to the Brian Craig Show podcast. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. And, here we are the next day and, the day after the next day. And we're starting to wonder what's going on. Is there an accomplice? And we're hearing about accomplices from multiple sources. And we're going to cover it all. All right, and your calls certainly are welcome. I must tell you, I'm a little behind on my coffee. I've only had 2 sips of this hot coffee, and I've been up for hours, but I was out of coffee at home. So my brain is not firing as fast as it normally would, but I'm still ahead of you liberals out there. All right, so the governor of Utah, the camera hog governor of Utah, who I did not know this until Friday, Charlie Kirk had a feud going on with the governor of Utah. And in fact, Charlie Kirk was even talking about removing him, excommunicating the governor of Utah from the Republican Party. So he does not like Charlie. He did not like Charlie Kirk. They have some conflict. And what we find out is the conflict between the great, late, taken, way too young Charlie Kirk and the governor of Utah was over the trans issue, in particular, sex change operations for kids and the men and women's sports. And when they had the press conference on Friday after the surrender of Charlie Kirk's assassin, not only did the governor of Utah hog the camera pretty bad. I mean, he was a major camera hog at that podium. He didn't want to give up that podium. He had declared that it was a lone gunman right out the gate. Now, this is before that I knew about the feud between Charlie Kirk and the governor of Utah and what it was about. And then, when that came out Friday, it's like, oh, that's interesting. He's saying all these high and mighty things, but he couldn't stand Charlie Kirk. And then we find out yesterday that the assassin had this trans roommate and boyfriend/girlfriend. And this has even been confirmed by a young guy who lived near them, like their neighbors, who said that he saw them walking hand in hand and kissing and everything. So the assassin not only is gay, he had a boyfriend/girlfriend. I don't know which way things were, how you do all that, but transgender relationship. And you got to wonder, did the governor of Utah rush to declare this a lone assassin because of the trans issue? Because that's something he's soft on. He apparently is a rhino. So when we get into the accomplices, I've said from the moment it happened, as soon as we found out that Charlie Kirk was shot, before we even had it reported that he had passed and his life was taken by this monster, I told you right immediately from the first stream I did, I said, listen, the same people that shot President Kennedy, Senator Bobby Kennedy, Martin Luther King, and President Trump in Butler, and tried to do it again at the golf course, are the same people that shot Charlie Kirk. And I still stand by that. And on yesterday's stream, I'm going to replay this clip. Let me pull this up. Charlie Kirk's widow, an ad's got to run for a second first. Here, Charlie Kirk's widow.
We're getting married this year.
Time to save wherever we can. So we tried a different detergent.
Is it going to let me? Is it going to let me?
Seemed like a good deal.
The detergent was so watered down it left our clothes with stains and dinge.
My favorite shirt became my PJs.
I'm not risking mine.
We're back with Tide.
Tide's the real
3
deal.
seconds.
Stop paying for watered down
skip.
detergent. It's got to be Tide.
Okay, here we go. Let me skip after 3 seconds. Okay, yeah, it's got to be Tide. Okay, Charlie Kirk's widow, in her address to the nation on Friday, dropped this. Now, I shared this on the program yesterday morning, but I want to play it again for context of the other things that I'm going to get to in just a moment. Okay, it's Charlie Kirk's widow, Friday night, her address to the nation from Charlie Kirk's studio.
Already I have seen the worldwide outpouring of love for my husband. I've heard the testimonies from people my husband inspired to get married, to start families, to seek out a relationship with God. It's the most important one of all. The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done.
Okay. So, yeah, I shared this with you guys yesterday. Erica Kirk here, Charlie Kirk's wife, said the evildoers, plural, who assassinated Charlie Kirk. And you got to understand, when you're talking about Erica Kirk here, you're not just talking about a grieving widow who has an idea or two. She had a very long conversation at this point, at least once, with the President of the United States. She spent a great deal of time with the Vice President of the United States and his wife when the Vice President went to Utah and then brought Charlie home to Arizona. And she's spoken to the FBI and other people from the administration. So when she says evildoers, plural, Charlie Kirk's wife, this is what she's getting from the President of the United States, the Vice President, and the others that she's talking to. So this is not just her saying something. This is something she's picking up from conversations. So then there's a couple of other things here. I'll pull these up that I wanted to get to. Hold on, let me pull this up here. I have so much to cover on the program this morning. By the way, welcome. If you're new, my name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure that you follow and subscribe. Okay, now this is being reported all over X by many people. The FBI and state agencies have launched investigations into multiple leftist groups in Utah for possible advanced knowledge of the Charlie Kirk assassination. This is being reported by Axios that has an article on this. They're also probing whether or not these groups provided material support after the killing. This is all according to Axios. At least one group deactivated their social media pages soon after the shot was taken. And then we have this article that I'm going to go through in a little more detail. This is in the Daily Mail. Possible accomplice of Charlie Kirk's assassin probed as footage emerges of suspicious character after shooting. Now, I'm doing my best not to say the name of the assassin. Sometimes when I go through these articles, I might read it by mistake, but I'm trying not to. I don't like to say the names of the assassins, and I don't think anyone should, because you don't want to give these guys the name recognition and publicity, because that's a lot of what they seek here. But when I say accomplice and Charlie Kirk's wife is talking about evildoers, I still believe in a wider conspiracy with the Kennedy and Butler assassin groups, plotters behind the scenes, that he's a patsy. It doesn't mean that he wasn't connected to others. Now, before I go through this article, I will tell you a few things. Anyone out there who he wasn't married, but he had this boyfriend-girlfriend transgender relationship, and they lived together, and plus the parents. I've been married for many, many years. Before I was married, I had roommates from time to time when I was single. You know what's going on in your house or your apartment. I don't care, right? Everybody knows what's going on. You're planning something like this, people know what's going on. You're gone for a while, far from where you live, or or a picture comes out, people recognize you. People around the assassin knew. No question in my mind. Would you agree with that or disagree? That people around the assassin knew. Not just after the fact, I'm talking about before and immediately after. There's no doubt in my mind. And also, there's been a lot that's come out that this monster he went on his Discord server and was talking about having done this, was talking about dropping the gun, was talking about, some out-of-body all kinds of things, okay? So he was on his Discord server even after this happened, after, bragging about it and talking about it. But anyone who's ever had a roommate, or you got a kid in your house, or you're married, when something at this level's going on, you know what they're up to. Come on. And to act like his family or this lover, right, had no idea. Of course, out of those two groups, someone knew. They knew before, and they knew immediately after. Because he didn't really hide what he was doing. He was in his Discord server with his little cell talking about it. And I do believe he was radicalized to do this by in these groups. And I think I really do. I stick with this, that he is a Lee Harvey Oswald patsy. Now, you're welcome to call me about this. If you're watching live, the number is pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. You're more than welcome to call me about this. Let's go through this article. This is in the Daily Mail. And if you're watching on the live stream where you see the green behind me, if you jump over to my other stream on my YouTube channel here, you can see and hear the audio and video that I play and the articles that I show, but you got to jump over to the other stream and you get all of that, okay? This is in the Daily Mail. Possible accomplice of Charlie Kirk assassin Tyler Robinson probed as footage emerges of suspicious character after shooting. The FBI is investigating whether assassin Tyler Robinson, I'm sorry I said his name there, but it's in the, I told you it's in the article, had an accomplice with him when he fired a single fatal shot at conservative influencer and Christian martyr Charlie Kirk. I'm adding the Christian martyr. That's not in the article. And while it's possible the last question that was asked of Charlie Kirk in his entire life, and he began to respond with the final words of his life, were about transgender shooters. That to me seems insane to me. That's just some kind of coincidence. FBI agents are looking into footage showing the assassin talking into a doorbell camera about the murder shortly after he scampered away from the Utah Valley University. The footage was turned over to the FBI by university officials themselves from security camera footage. The Sun reported that the footage shows a man walking by the house speaking into his cell phone about the murder. So the question is, who was he talking to on the cell phone, right? The FBI is not clear yet whether the man in the video is the killer or not. And the public statements given by officials have said they believe he acted alone. First off, this is just complete BS. How can they say that he acted alone before there's been an investigation? Right? That's an immediate cover-up right there. If they say he acted alone before the investigation has begun, when they just have the guy in custody, that's cover-up talk. At least one family member that lives near the campus was interviewed as part of the investigation. When contacted by the Daily Mail, the FBI declined comment. Police have evacuated the area around the family home after receiving concerning information from the residents. Investigators have not revealed what exactly raised concern, but said the information came directly in front of the residents. A police helicopter is flying over the neighborhood, and reporters have been told to clear the area. Fox News has reported the assassin was named. He's a student, blah, blah, blah. It goes into a bunch of stuff. There's no way this punk, this dork, acted alone. What has he ever done in his life that was constructive that we've heard about? Yeah, he got that scholarship. But have we heard anything about him doing anything on his own in his life? And all of a sudden he came up with this plot? No. No. Now, he may not know that he's part of a wider conspiracy. Okay, you have to understand that. I'm not saying that he may not have any idea that he's part of a wider conspiracy, that he's a patsy. But there's no question in my mind that he was pushed into doing it through one of these organizations, whether it's someone through the Discord server or one of these radical leftist organizations that he's connected to. He was pushed into doing it. And the person that did the pushing is part of a wider conspiracy, and also they may not even be aware of what they're a part of, but they're without question in my mind, there was a major, major conspiracy around the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Nothing could convince me of anything different. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi. Can you hear me?
I can.
Hi. So this is the Greg. What's the name?
Brian Craig.
Ryan Craig.
Brian Craig with a B.
Okay. So then I had been watching your channel, and I heard you mention that this Tyler being, I believe you compared him to a Lee Harvey Oswald patsy. I was wondering if you could elaborate on that, specifically in my interest of the topic being, I guess, the relevancy of him being specifically raised as a Christian in a Republican family.
Oh my goodness! I'm going to answer your question, but I can tell by your tone. You think you're so intellectual and brilliant. You're very long-winded, saying all kinds of. You say a lot of words. You say them very slow, but you could have asked that question in 2 seconds. Lee Harvey Oswald and the assassination of President Kennedy, as well as the assassination of Charlie Kirk, both are political assassinations. That's one connection, okay? Do you agree with that? Political assassinations?
Charlie Kirk a politician?
Yes. He's a lot of things.
Okay.
Yes, he's
Okay.
a political activist. Absolutely, a political activist, yeah. So you don't
Okay,
accept
but
that.
that's
You
not
don't
a politician, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, it is. I mean, see, here's some thinks he's smarty pants with all the words. You agree this?
I think I asked you rather politely to
ask me. Well,
express your opinion on that.
I'm not a witness in a courtroom, and you're not an attorney. Asking, we're having a conversation, and
I don't know
it's
that
hard.
a typical conversation unfolds the way that it has so far.
Well, that's how they
But
that's how they unfold with me. But before I can go further with you, I mean, if you can't even agree that this was a political assassination, whichever, Martin Luther King, okay, as an example, was not an elected official. However, the assassination of Martin Luther King was a political assassination. He was leading a massive political movement. Would you not agree?
Yeah, I do. I guess my confusion therein lies, legitimately, that this individual, if he is presumed to have left ammunition with some writing on it that was proposed to be some Discord channel that is a more extreme right-centered group.
There's nothing on his ammo that was he wrote transgender and Antifa stuff. It was all transgender and Antifa stuff.
So doesn't that, though, then sound like that he was still somewhat leaning to the right? He just
Are you out of your
agree with
freaking
Charlie Kirk?
mind? Are you out of your freaking mind? How does someone who's got a transgender boyfriend, he has sex with somebody who has a penis, okay, who's transgender, how is that somebody that leans to the right? Explain that to me. Who kills the number one conservative activist in Yeah.
I don't know that I've heard any legitimate evidence to suggest his sexual orientation. However, I do know that he was raised in a Christian family.
He was raised in a Christian home. His roommate was his boyfriend who's transitioning into being a woman. There was a neighbor, a young man who lived next door to him and his boyfriend, transgender girlfriend, who was interviewed on the local news just yesterday, which is all over who said that excuse me, I'm speaking, who said he saw them kissing and holding hands. The president of the United States told Rob Schmidt on Newsmax, and the president is briefed on these things by the FBI, that he had a transgender girlfriend. I know you're gay, and you don't want to think that some gay guy did this. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. You're just both happen to be gay, right? Like we're all white. I mean, you're personalizing this because of your sexuality.
Are you suggesting that I'm gay?
I'm suggesting that it's possible, yes. Are you?
Okay.
Are you? Are you?
No, sir. Actually, in fact, I have a child that I procreated with a woman.
Oh, you procreated? This sounds pretty scientific. Well, in the very least, you're a liberal, right? You're a Democrat. You're a liberal.
I don't actually prefer to have any preference of one. No, I don't lean right or left.
Who says that they? I have never heard. How old's your child?
She's 25 years old.
25 years old. When were they born? When's their birthday?
The year 2000, idiot.
The year 2000? When's their birthday?
You don't need a whole bunch of.
Oh yeah, that's what I thought. Okay,
the
point of my question is, you sound like you're full of shit. I mean, I've never heard a father say, "I have a child that I procreated with a female of the species." I mean, who talks like you? You talk like some snobby snoot.
Have you not listened to Charlie Kirk specify the
Charlie
definition
Kirk,
of a woman being genetics?
Charlie Kirk does no. I'm talking about the words you use. Normal people don't talk like you. Hey, listen, appreciate the call. Welcome to the program. Call me again sometime.
You're a fucking idiot and a moron, brother.
Yeah. Okay, class act there. The vocabulary changed there at the end. Oh my goodness. I have a child which I procreated with a female gender of the species. Oh my goodness. Does anybody believe any of that? And his child just happens to be the same age that's very easy to do the math on and doesn't want to say the month because, it's early in the morning. Oh my goodness. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. This is Nick out of Baltimore.
Hey, Nick.
Good morning.
By the way, if you're new to the program, welcome. And before we talk to Nick here, I welcome all opinions, okay? So whether you're conservative, liberal, you are welcome on this program to call in. Hey, Nick, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I heard your last caller.
The procreator.
Yeah.
Give me a freaking break.
I know. You can tell these guys. I know. Like you say, you can tell these guys within the first... Remember that name that tune?
Yes.
You can usually tell within the first couple of syllables.
Yes. I can name that tune in one note. Remember some of those people were so good? Yes.
Yeah, it's the same thing with these callers.
Yes, it is. It is. That's a good... I like that, Nick. That's good. Hold on, Nick. Let me answer these phones that are coming in. I like that, Nick. That's really good.
Yeah, it's the same kind of thing,
That's pretty funny.
I have to say this though, with what's coming out with this character and everything else, a few things I want to stress here. First of all, how much evidence, how many more incidents are there going to be to prove that this transgender stuff? Now, how many incidents have we had now of these transgender type
It's hard to count because the media cover the facts up a lot. But
right.
there's been this one. Let's say we've had Minneapolis, we had Nashville, and
right.
and after Nashville there were a couple as well. So I don't know. I can't put the exact number on it because the media coverage confuses it, but what would you say, maybe 5? I don't know.
Yeah, it has to be at least 5.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, and I was thinking about this last night, and I think it's something I heard when you were doing the afternoon broadcast yesterday. Charlie Kirk was potentially presidential material. And I believe he would have been president at some point. And they wanted to stop that. So there's more to this than meets the eye.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't disagree with anything you said there, but I don't know if he ever would have been. He was the most. Let me tell you, he was the most successful political organizer since Dr. King. And guys, if you guys listen, there's probably hardly a show that goes by that I don't mention Martin Luther King. It's not just this week. I mean, I'm a huge admirer of Martin Luther King. As all good people are, but he's the first, and he is the probably most successful conservative activist in history. Back in the days of the Christian Coalition and everything, I'm not saying they didn't do good work, but they were really preaching to the choir. And what Charlie did, the great late Charlie Kirk, was red pill people. I mean, he flipped a generation red. Millions of people are MAGA Republicans now. I knew this. I realized what he was doing, not just when he invited me to the Turning Point a couple years back, but I was at the Apple store one day, and there's a local college where Florida Atlantic University. It's my alma mater. And I did my postgraduate work at Trump U, of course, but I went to Florida Atlantic University, which is a state university, and I saw all these guys come in from the university wearing MAGA hats. I'm like, wow, that's pretty. That we've won, we got it. That was during the first election, So so I think that the people that the plotters that tried to kill Trump, that killed the Kennedys and all that. I was talking about this a lot the last couple of days, Nick. When they killed Martin Luther King, the civil rights movement went to crap. They never had a decent leader after that. And I think that was the plan they were doing here. I think they think that the movement will die off without him.
That makes sense. It does make sense, what you're saying, but I think they failed.
I think because and the other thing I wanted to mention is I had a professor in college, Richard Vatz, at Towson State up here, and there's a branch of TPUSA up there. They have a TPUSA branch over at Towson State University.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just answering all these. That's interesting. That's good. It's nice.
And he posted. He knew Charlie, and he was in contact with Charlie Kirk.
I saw today. What is it? 18? Is it? How many chapters have people have filed? 1,800 or something like a huge number of.
It's like 1,800, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking this morning. I wish there was a Turning Point organization for adults. I don't know if they want us, but
they were talking about that last night. I think they were talking about that last night. Were they talking about that on Fox? Somebody was talking about that because there's talk of that, or maybe I heard it. Maybe I heard it on your show, but there is talk of that because they looked at the.
It's 18,000, by the way. 18,000 applications for new chapters. 18,000.
Well, I know where I heard it. Barry Cunningham.
Barry Cunningham.
He played one of the videos, and he said, if you look at that crowd, it was over in England, and he saw the older, it was like a baby boomer crowd, and remember you were saying how this is all worldwide, and what they've done, like his wife has said, they don't know what they've unleashed because there's a whole lot of people now.
Oh yeah,
and that's the thing. I mean, this is what's going on, and I'm still very upset about it. I can't put it all together. But the thing is, this generation's JFK moment. Mm-hmm. It really is.
Well, I got to say, because even people my age, and I'm 54, right? So, the Martin Luther King was killed 3 years before I was born. So, I didn't live through. And I'd say Charlie Kirk is my JFK moment too. I mean, this is, even at my age. I mean, I saw on the local news I was watching this morning on Friday, there was a prayer vigil in Fort Lauderdale, which is near where I live. And I watched in the local news, it was all people my age. It wasn't kids. It was, he meant something to everyone. And, You know, I got to hook up with Barry Cunningham. He and I live in the same neighborhood, which is so weird. Isn't it weird that we like live in the same neighborhood? His house is probably bigger than mine. But
you get mentioned on his program. So.
Oh, do I? Oh, yeah. I need to hook up. If anybody's got a contact with Barry Cunningham, have him reach out to me, because I don't know how to reach him. I mean, we live in the same neighborhood, but we don't. I'm sure his house is bigger than mine, but I don't. But we don't know. Yeah, there's another big famous conservative influencer that lives in my neighborhood too. I don't want to say who, but one of the biggest actually lives not far from me.
You and he are the two programs I go to. It really are.
I've watched him. I've watched him a few times, and he's really good. You know me. I don't. If I don't like someone, I tell you, he's good. And I wouldn't tell you that if I didn't like him. But he and I need to connect and collab. Yeah. All right, Nick. It's good to hear from you. I agree with everything you said.
Hey, take care, and thank you for the program.
All right, take care. Yeah, if you want to call in and you're watching live, the number's pinned in the live chat. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Rick. I was just wanting to piggyback off a point one of the previous callers had mentioned.
The procreator?
Trying to say that
the procreator?
Yeah. I think he was trying to say that he fucked some bitch and jizz inside of her, bro, and you're a fucking faggot.
What is wrong with you? Why would you talk that? Oh, he hung up. I was going to try to have a conversation with him. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once, twice. All right, you missed out. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once.
Oh, hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Absolutely.
Oh, man, I'm calling out of here, San Antonio, Texas. I'm originally from Galveston, man. My name's Ernest, man.
Hey, Ernest from Texas. What's up?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. See, so I'm very much pissed because of what happened to Steve Kirk.
Absolutely, I'm with you on that.
I'm very highly upset. I'm a combat veteran. I did Navy and Army combat in both.
Navy and Army? And you're in? How are you in combat in the Navy? Tell me about that. Were you on a battleship? How are you in combat in the Navy? No, hold on. Is he here? Tell me how you were in combat in the Navy.
Say what now?
You said, hold on. You said you were both in the Army and the Navy, and you were in combat in both. How are you in combat in the Navy? You on a battleship or something?
Oh, so I joined the Navy in 2003.
Yeah.
Got out in 2007. I was a deputy sheriff in Galveston County.
Yeah.
2008, then Hurricane Ike hit, and then when Hurricane Ike hit, I pretty much lost everything, so I went and joined the Army.
Oh, I see. That. Oh, wow. That's cool. Did you have to start over? So, did you have to start over, or did you get close to your other rank?
Hold on, my rank. Nah, I started back at E6.
They let you in as an E6? What's an E6 in the Navy?
In the Navy, E6 is a petty officer first class.
And an E6 in the Army is?
Staff sergeant.
Staff sergeant's E6? Well, that's pretty cool. That's cool. Because I've heard of guys doing that, and then they lose a couple stripes, like sergeants or corporals. All of it. You know what I mean? Like I've heard that. So you worked out good.
I was only right. I wasn't even out a full year, so you already your prior service. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty good. All right. So what's on your mind?
Man, I have two sons. I got an 18 that's in college right now, and I have a 16 in high school, of course, and both of them play football and varsity and college ball. And it's just everything is like so hateful and so, man, bro, I never seen, I've like when I go to the high school now, I'm talking about present day. Like nobody dresses well. The way they dress, the way they look, they don't nobody cares. Like nobody cares, man. No creases. no iron cold.
You know where you
they
see
don't
this.
take
You know where
pride
you
in-
see this a lot. I don't know. How old are you?
I'm 40.
40. Okay, you're you may be old enough this, but maybe not. But when I was young and you would fly, you dressed nice.
Mm-hmm.
You dress nice. And now when you go on an airplane, it's like taking the Greyhound bus. Everyone's wearing pajamas, you know, and all this crap and slippers and everything else. And you're right. In general, there's a lack of respect. You know, I was watching a while back, I saw on YouTube, there was some home videos I saw of Walt Disney World back in the 70s when it first opened up. And people are wearing slacks. You know, it's still the same heat in Florida in the 70s that we have now, but they were wearing slacks because you dress nice. And today,
they wore slacks in the
and today people, especially the women, they don't dress nice at all. They just they dress like trash. People today, and that shows a lack of respect for themselves.
Right. The meaning behind this, and this is true. I believe this wholeheartedly, and I put this. I've applied this throughout my 40 years here on this earth. When you dress nice, no matter what color you are, whatever, it doesn't matter. When you dress nice and look nice, it don't matter how much the clothes are. You can get it from Goodwill or whatever. But if you look nice in it and you know fit, or you can even be fat, but as long as you look nice, you get a total different reaction.
And by the way, that doesn't mean you have to wear a suit and tie. You can look nice in a t-shirt and jeans. Okay, you know, but the way people dress is, you know, like I'll tell you, I was at Starbucks this morning, right? And there was a woman in there with the yoga pants on. It's I get embarrassed, you know, because they're like naked. It's like they've got spray painted clothes on, and it's just inappropriate.
Bro, you're not lying, bro. My son's graduation, he graduated this year in May. I'm like, man, what the? It's like 50 people at the house, you know. I'm like, who is that, man? Hey, man, she, like, her shorts were too short and all that.
Yeah.
And my oldest son was like, I told you not to call her looking like this.
Yeah.
Like,
So, it's just, well, anyway, so let's get back to Charlie Kirk. We're talking about the assassination of the great Charlie Kirk.
Man, bro, dog, it's me being, you know, veteran. Not all veterans, you know, think rationally.
That's for sure.
There are veterans that are still asleep. When I say sleep, I mean like still being restrained. Like the good ones. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Okay, so listen, I want to move on to some other calls, but hey, listen, welcome to the show.
Okay.
And call me again sometime. All right, good caller, good guy. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Dick, and
yeah, I'm sure it is. Oh my goodness. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Lou, Mississippi, Laurel.
Hey Lou, what's on your mind?
What was, in your opinion, what would be Charlie Kirk's main thing that he would want to be remembered for, even after his death?
You mean by everybody? Well, I probably think he would probably... You're talking about like from the country or from the world, or like, you know, in general? What do you mean? That's a vague question. I would think he'd want to be... I think he would... I think he'd want to be known as a Christian. He wanted to bring everybody to Jesus.
Right, his faith.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my main point. That's all I wanted to say, is that Charlie Kirk's main position and every action that he took for the country, for this nation, was about his faith.
Yeah, sure. I'll give you that. All right. Yeah, good point. I agree. Can't disagree with that. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, how you doing? This is Rich calling from Alaska.
Hey, Rich in Alaska. What's on your? What time is it in Alaska?
Oh, it's 2:06 in the a.m.
Okay, well, it's 6:06 here in Florida. All right. I thought you would be
nice.
I guess you have more than one time zone in Alaska. It's so big.
Yeah, maybe further north or further west. You might, as you get closer to the, Diomede Islands or whatever, you might be on Russia time.
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe. All right, so what's on your mind?
Hey, so let's go back just a little bit about the other people that were involved in the suspects shooting. Like the old guy who was a distraction, and the trans question guy,
very possible,
who was close to the stage. So I only spent 20 years in the military, man, and I can tell you that if it was a 200-yard shot, you can zero the weapon to 200 to 300 yards, and your point of aim and your point of impact will be about the same. This wasn't a professional deal,
the
sure. Video shows the guy.
Sure. It was it was professional. There was they said there were only 4 to 6 police officers there, and these two disruptors just happened to distract all the police officers that were there to give the guy time to escape. Right? That transgender question, I don't believe that was a coincidence. And no, there's too many, but that doesn't mean that these people know they're part of a wider conspiracy, including the shooter.
Right. So a gentleman by the name of Andy No, maybe you've heard of him. He was embedded in Antifa and later switched sides to the conservative side of the house, and then he exposed the trans-Tifa element.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about trans-Tifa. Yeah, that's the new phrase we're hearing a lot about.
Yeah, according to him, so it's a trans-Tifa terror cell, and they're, you could fact check that.
No, I can definitely believe that's a possibility, but see, I believe I believe in my heart from the moment it happened. And I keep saying this over and over again. Same people that killed the Kennedys, Martin Luther King, and shot President Trump killed Charlie Kirk. These other people, you're right, very likely involved in all of this stuff and needs to be investigated. But it doesn't mean there's not a deeper conspiracy. And I believe that. And also, where I haven't heard anything about, he didn't just get that rifle and take a shot like this and hit the first time. He had to at least been practicing for quite some time at a distance. I haven't heard anything discussed about that either. Where was he practicing shooting with this old bolt action?
Probably in the Utah desert.
I don't know. Maybe, but and when did he do that, and who did he do it with? And he was bragging about what he did on his Discord server. So he doesn't seem like a guy that keeps his mouth shut. There were people around him in his immediate circle who were well aware of what he did and what he was going to do.
Right. So he can yell, "I'm the shooter" all day, but when it comes down to the DNA and the physical evidence, in the video it shows him jumping off the building with an empty backpack or a sack, but yet later the authorities discover the weapon in a wooded area. Mm-hmm.
That's exactly right.
You know what I mean? There sets off a lot of questions there.
And we found out, that footage of him limping from that camera from that house was before. They believe it was at first they thought it was reported when TMZ first dropped the video, he broke his leg or something jumping off the roof. Now we found out it was on the way there. So he had the rifle, it's believed, in his pants in that footage. Where did it go? When you see him jump off the roof, he's bending his legs when he jumped off the roof. So where was the rifle? Did he I didn't see him toss it off the roof. Did you?
No, he didn't. I mean, the video was a bit grainy, but it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah.
So my guess is that this is a cell, multiple players.
Yep.
This, what's going to happen with this suspect? He can scream, "I did it" all day long, but if they don't attribute evidence to him, he's going to walk. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
He's going to walk.
He's not going to walk. He's not going to walk. He's not going to walk. This guy's going to he's already lawyered up, but he's not going to walk.
Well, so he apparently he pleaded the Fifth Amendment, and
right to remain silent. Yeah, he's lawyered up now. Yeah, but that doesn't mean he's going to get convicted. They've got reams of evidence. And I hope they don't make a deal. I hope it goes to trial. And I don't know, do they televise trials in Utah? I hope they do, because this one needs to be seen.
Now that will probably be worked out between the defendant and the prosecutor.
No, they either televise or they don't in the state. They either televise or they don't. Some states do, some states don't. That's why I'm hoping this goes through the Utah system first, because federal trials are not televised. So if the feds are going to go after him, I hope they go after him later, because people need to see this trial and hear the witnesses and the evidence presented. The country needs that, I think.
Well, in order to understand, this situation, I think people need to dig into the background, follow. I'm not trying to plug Andy, no, but he was there with Antifa, and
I've never heard of him before.
There's another.
Wow. But the question, I'll look him up. The question is, listen, what happens with these groups? Okay, what happens with these groups is the deep state intelligence agencies, when they see groups out there, they infiltrate them to use them for their evil deeds. Okay, and I'm telling you, this was a deep state action. This wasn't just a bunch of people with blue and green hair in some local Antifa chapter that did this. They on their own. They may not even be aware that they're involved in a larger conspiracy, but the intelligence agencies are all up inside Antifa. Half of them probably are Antifa. Remember when they had that Whitmer incident and we found out that the feds were so embedded that they got them to do it? Remember all that in Michigan? That's what these other groups are like Antifa. Yeah. Just like on January 6th, loaded with feds. Patriot.
Okay, remember those people who shot the Border Patrol agent near the Canadian? Okay, that group was called the Zizians, and this is really weird. They were all like computer science majors.
Yeah,
like science geeks.
Really, I didn't know that.
I can't believe it.
Yeah. All right. Hey, listen. Well, welcome.
Anyway,
I'll look into that, and you added a lot to the conversation. Yep. Take care. All right. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to take some more of these calls. If you're watching live, you're welcome to call. The number is pinned in the live chat. And all opinions are welcome. If you agree or disagree, you're welcome to call in. My name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. And anytime I'm live streaming in one of my studios, I'm taking live calls like I'm doing right now. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air once, twice. All right, you missed your chance. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm in Texas. I'm from Tennessee. I'm working in Texas right now.
Welcome.
What's
on your mind?
Talk, buddy. Well, just kind of floored by all this stuff, but
sure.
I'm not really surprised. I'm 56. I'm a war veteran. I've got 13 grandbabies and just evil in the world. I'm not surprised by it, but
well, nothing surprises me. Nothing surprised. I haven't been surprised since I saw The Sixth Sense with Bruce Willis. That was the last time I was surprised. I mean, none of this stuff surprises me.
But I'm hoping the Lord will use this to open people's eyes to what's going on.
Well, it's happened.
It's hard to convince the leftists of anything. I've tried to talk to people.
Look, the Charlie Kirk. Thank you for the call. Charlie Kirk's memorial is going to be in this football stadium that holds 70,000 people. It's going to be filled up with an overflow crowd outside. Believe me, people are waking up. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air.
Sir Charles.
Turn down the volume of whatever you're listening to me on in the background. Turn down the volume. There's a delay.
All right. It's down.
Okay. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Sir
Sir Charles out
All
of
right.
South Carolina.
Sir Charles. Wow, we got a knight on the line. Cool. What's on your mind, Sir
Well,
Charles?
That's my handle for my name for.
Okay. All right.
For,
You listen to something else in the background. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, what's up? This is Oski from Ohio.
Hey, what's up?
There's a couple of things I would like to point out. One, there's a couple of narratives floating around about this assassin. One of them was that they have a trans roommate. Well, they had a trans roommate.
His boyfriend. It's his boyfriend. He's in a relationship with a transgendered person. No, it's been reported by the President of the United States, and a neighbor.
Okay,
a neighbor was interviewed on the local news and confirmed it, who saw them kissing and holding hands.
Great.
Yes.
Can I get out the second point?
Well,
Second point?
Yeah, sure.
The second point is that he has spent a semester in college and was radicalized by the left. So those are 2 points that I would like to address.
Okay.
What you call his boyfriend, I'll take that. I'm not going to argue that. It may be. And then the other point is what I just expressed. Now, this is what I like to say. Is that why Trump loves the uneducated? Because all it takes is one semester in college to understand that he's the devil?
I don't understand that question. It's so idiotic.
I know you don't.
You know, some of the smartest people I've known in my life have never gone to college. The great Rush Limbaugh never went to college. Sean Hannity never went to college. Peter Jennings from ABC News, he's a liberal jerk, never went to college. ABC News anchor for many years. The great Charlie Kirk didn't go to college. And I've known people in my personal life who were some of the most brilliant people you would ever know, and they never went to college. Oh, he hung up. Okay. Whatever. I don't know what quite point that was. He didn't sound like a college-educated person, did he? And then again, some of the dumbest people I've known not only are college graduates, but have advanced graduate degrees. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Travis.
Travis, turn down the volume in the background, please.
Yeah, sorry. Travis, North Carolina.
All right, Travis, what's on your mind?
Hey, I just want to make a point that the left has created this environment, this atmosphere that we're having to suffer through. So we got people that are telling, like in the last election, we got Oprah Winfrey. This is the last election. We got, Barack Obama. We're talking about, this is the end of the world if we don't fight for it. They have radicalized. The left has radicalized people.
Well, if you look at it, there's a great, I don't know what to describe what's going on, but there have been thousands of people who have been cheering on and misbehaving in the aftermath of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And a lot of things have happened. For example, there's some that were in the military, and Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War, has gotten rid of them. There's discipline being done in the military. Yesterday, I was talking about here on my channel, there was this manager at Office Depot that wouldn't print up flyers for a Charlie Kirk vigil. She's been fired. And there have been school teachers already fired for celebrating online the death and assassination of Charlie Kirk. So what's happening is it's a great American accountability session is going on with these out-of-control liberals that have been, acting like barbarians, not just this week, but for years. So President Trump, Make It America Great Again, covers a lot of things, but there's a great American reset going on. And this tragedy is resetting a lot of craziness that's been happening.
Well, when you victimize people, when you make people out to be Nazis, and you compare Trump and the left and the right, the conservative group, as to being Nazis, you create this environment where people feel like they have to fight or flight.
Well, listen, how many movies have been made? Or even television shows, science fiction movies about time travel, going back in time and killing Hitler, right? How many times have you heard that? So what's happened If you could only go back in time in a time machine and kill Hitler, all the lives you could have saved. And that's, I've seen that in so many movies and television shows. And what they've done is they've convinced a generation of young people that Donald Trump and Charlie Kirk are Hitler. And they think that what they are doing are heroic patriotic actions oftentimes. I know that's hard to understand, but they actually do. It's like they've gone back in time to kill Hitler. Yes, you're correct.
It's comparable to being brainwashed.
Yes.
And they don't look at these people as being human.
Correct.
As being fathers, brothers, sons.
Correct.
They don't recognize that these people have families. They're just real people that want the best for our country.
Yep.
And they just look at them as a martyr. Like they just, I'm going to make an example out of it.
They think that even though they're the ones that are out there shooting and killing people, they think that MAGA's the threat, even though they're the ones that are shooting and killing people. But then again, it goes back to that thing. Well, if you could go back in time and kill Hitler before he became chancellor, when he was a baby. And I saw an episode of The Twilight Zone, one of the remakes of Twilight Zone, where a woman went back in time and she became the nanny to baby Hitler, And that's what they think they're doing. That's what that lunatic was put up to doing in Butler, and that other lunatic at the golf course that's on trial now. You're right. They have brainwashed them into thinking Trump and those who support him are Hitler. And Charlie Kirk was the number 2 guy in the entire MAGA movement.
And just victimizing, they're such a victim to society that they could help, somehow, justify their actions.
Yeah.
And they have no idea.
That's correct. Ridiculous. Yeah. No, you're right. You're absolutely correct. And it's frightening. Somebody in the chat used this analogy too. They've created a bunch of Manchurian candidates. If you're not familiar with the movie with Frank Sinatra, watch it. When you're done watching me, it's a very good movie, and it'll explain what we're talking about. But there are a bunch of Manchurian candidates. They've been brainwashed. It doesn't mean that they're not guilty, but they've been brainwashed. All right. Thank you so much for the call. I appreciate it. All right, I'll keep taking some calls here. If you're on hold, stand by. If you're watching live, you are welcome to give me a call. The number's toll-free and pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm Zeke, and I'm from Wisconsin.
Okay. What's up, Zeke?
So I'm just calling to kind of give some recognition as to how impactful this event has been.
Mm-hmm.
Even for somebody like me who isn't really into any kind of politics or barely even heard about the guy, ever since it kind of happened, I guess, it's been really impactful because, I don't, again, like I said, I haven't really known the guy that much, but the more feed keeps popping up in, the stuff I've watched, the more I actually sit down and realize that he wasn't really that bad a guy, and, it's weird. I mean, a lot of people are laughing at this assassination, and it's really angering, I guess. But like I said, it's just fucked up. It really is. Sorry for my language.
That's okay.
And like I said, I barely knew the guy, but the more I watch his feed, the more I kind of connect with him, and it's it's tragic. It really is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, listen, there used to be a time when the Democrats have always been wrong, but there used to be civil disagreement. Now, this new generation of liberals believe that if you disagree with them, you should not be alive. And they believe that. That's insanity, but that's how they believe.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, from my understanding too, he is really the only politician who has actually ever taken the time to sit down and talk to the younger generation and actually try and get them to understand and, I guess, shine a new light onto the newer generation.
That's right. You are correct. Yeah. From a conservative viewpoint, all you've had in the past are liberals, There's never been a conservative was successful at doing what Charlie Kirk did. That's why they killed him. That's why they assassinated him. If he wasn't successful, he would be alive today. It's because he was successful that they killed him. They were trying to stop his work. And they just red-pilled millions of people in this country by doing it.
Ben, I just wanted to shine some light onto how tragic this is, where even a guy who was barely even understanding anything about politics or even heard about this guy is now even where people are laughing at this assassination is starting to take him off. I just wanted to shine some light on.
Well, I appreciate you. Welcome to the program, and subscribe. If you're new to me, make sure you subscribe.
Oh, I definitely will.
All right, take care. Take care. Yeah, those of you that are new, my name's Brian. I'm obviously a MAGA guy, and I've been on the air for decades, and I'm here on YouTube every day, live streaming, taking live calls like I'm doing now. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Dion from Jersey. Good morning, Brian. How you feeling?
All right, Dion. What's on your mind?
Charlie Kirk, God rest his soul and bless his family. What's on my mind is I believe the only way for us to move forward is in peace, because the other side, and, you know, it's like their agenda is to demonize the other side to make them less than human so it's easier to attack them and destroy them. Mm-hmm. Whereas I feel that they're just demonizing themselves by all these heinous acts they're doing.
Yeah.
And I think we have to do, the most important thing is to, like Charlie was doing, you keep pushing the word of Jesus, you keep God out there, because if you look at the media lately, it's crazy. It's all about Satan worship. I mean, it's right in your face. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. And I'm not trying to demonize them. They're stepping up and saying, this is what we stand for, because if you follow Jesus and you follow the word, you're not worshiping the state. Mm-hmm. They want to make their government the religion. And I think that voting them out of office and moving forward peacefully is the only way to win.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, you're
what
right.
Do you think?
Yeah, Charlie Kirk was a lot of things, but his wife said this. He's also a Christian martyr.
Yes, he is now. God rest his soul.
Yeah,
I think all the. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, Brad.
No, go ahead.
To interrupt you.
No, you didn't. Go ahead.
The thing that happened with TMZ. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and the people that are being fired for mocking.
I do not buy this story. Harvey from the guy Harvey from TMZ. I've always liked him. I'm not into celebrity gossip. I was when I was younger. And he used to be the legal consultant for the People's Court when Judge Wapner was on it. And I remember him.
Right.
Sometimes he'd be on there for a legal opinion, and I used to watch that show when I was a kid. And I've always had some respect for him. But I don't believe that the staff of TMZ were watching a high-speed L.A. freeway police chase when the Charlie Kirk assassination story was going on. I just don't believe that, because it doesn't make sense. It's like during the O.J. Simpson chase, nobody was watching anything but that. I mean, it did. No, I don't believe that.
Well, Brian, it came out yesterday that they were watching the chase, and just as
they said they were. They said they were. I don't know if I believe that.
Here's the hook. Whether they were or they weren't. If they were, just at that moment during that chase, the president cut in and announced that Charlie had passed. Charlie had died, and that's when you heard the eruption of cheers.
Maybe.
I mean, this is.
Yeah. We don't know because it seems like TMZ. My first thought when it happened was, I'm not going to blame Harvey from, I can't remember his last name. What's Harvey's last name from TMZ? I forgot his last name. But at first, I wasn't going to blame him, because he can't help what these young idiots that work for him are doing back there. But then when they came out with this BS story that no one buys, that's when the responsibility starts to weigh on him now. Now Harvey Levin. And when somebody in the chat, Levin, and when he comes out and if he's not telling the truth, that's when it becomes his responsibility. And I'm really disappointed in him, because I've always liked him, but not this pisses me off. And TMZ, the best thing they can do is tell the truth and get rid of those monsters. And I'll tell you why they got to get rid of those monsters. I cannot consume content produced by people behaving that way.
Right. Well, your vibe attracts your tribe.
Yes.
You surround your people with. It's not. It's.
I like that.
I don't.
I've not heard that before.
I'm a counselor.
Yeah.
I'm a counselor. I'm a counselor in Jersey for people recovering from addiction.
What is
and
that? What is that? Your vibe does what to your tribe? I like that phrase you use. I never heard it before.
Your vibe attracts your tribe.
That is amazing. I like that. Yeah. Your vibe
It's
attracts your tribe.
Right. It's the birds with feather thing.
But it's cooler.
If I don't like. Oh,
it's cool.
Yeah, well, I'm a hippie.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, it's a whole different ethos. You have people that are just politically motivated, and I don't want to see, and I don't believe I will see that this just goes away after a couple of weeks or a month. This is a movement that has ignited people. Charlie Kirk, you could say this and that and the other thing about, and I've never heard him say anything bad. He was always so kind and open, and I never saw him lose his temper. I never saw him be rude. Just a beautiful human being, and to do that in front of his family, in front of the whole world, you have to have no heart. You talk about demonic. I don't like to throw those words around and belittle people, but man, you earn that label, and everybody that backs him. So people that are getting fired like crazy for celebrating it, and they're trying to hook it like, oh, it's freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is one thing, but when you're inciting violence and murder,
well, and also when you have people working for you that show such poor judgment and lack of moral character, can you trust them with responsibilities for your business? Or I don't think so.
Absolutely not. He was trying to put out the fire by trying to cover it up, and he's putting his business in front of.
You're talking about Harvey Levin. Well, listen, what TMZ needs to do, if he's telling the truth, is to do a detailed timeline. And he was doing a live stream when that happened, so that should be easy to do. Do a detailed timeline, show us the timeline of this chase, the incident with Charlie, his live stream, and do a timeline and clear your name. But short of that, I'm so disappointed in him. I'm not just, yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I watched it a couple times, and you could tell when people are lying. You really can't tell unless you know the person. But there are some telltale signs. I saw the panic in his eyes when the cheering was going on. He sent somebody back there, and when he came back, the way he kept looking down and looking back up as he was explaining it, it's like when you're speaking the truth, your chin is up and you're saying, look, this is what happened, and I'm really sorry. You're putting your head down and you're shrugging as you're talking.
It is very really, the LA police, when my daughter lived in Los Angeles, I would watch the local police chases out there because I would follow the local news to know what was going on in LA. And watching high-speed police chases it's like watching football, okay? I get that, but I don't know if I buy that. I need Harvey Levin to give us a timeline of the events from that stream and this chase and everything else, and say, hey, they were idiots. I got rid of them, and this is what happened, and give us a timeline. Otherwise, they're in big trouble because people are pissed at TMZ. They are pissed.
Well, I'm more pissed about how our government is. All the judges that are letting these animals out that killed that poor girl in the subway. The guy's been arrested 14 times for all kinds of aggravated, violent behavior. Oh, well, he's schizophrenic. Well, he shouldn't be on the street. All these things. It's like they know what they're doing. They're trying to divide and conquer, just chip away at the foundation of our nation of freedom, because we're the last free place in the world.
President Trump has said twice. He said it on Fox News on Friday, and then he said it over the weekend. I think it was to NBC News, but it was one of the networks, about investigating George Soros. And these prosecutors and judges, this is all George Soros. George Soros, about 15 years ago, started backing local prosecutors and such. And here we are in a lawless society. And this guy, you know what it is with Soros? He gets off. I'm going to say something crude, okay? He gets off fucking with people's lives.
Yeah.
I hate to say, there's just no other way to say it. I apologize for you guys will hear me use the F word too much.
Nah,
but that's what he does. I'm not saying there's not a political thing in it, but that's what his kink is.
Well, you know what it is? Years ago, he actually came out and he said that he considered himself God.
Yeah.
And these are right out of his, and when he's actually the devil. And I'm sorry to throw these things around.
Well, you know what it is?
You know,
Another way to explain it, if you watch Clash of the Titans with Harry Hamlin, when they show the gods on Mount Olympus, and they have everybody in Greece, they have an action figure of them on a shelf, and they take them off the shelf, you know, all the Greek gods, and they make them do things. That's what George Soros is like.
1981, I remember that movie. I liked it.
Yeah, it's good. Go back and watch it. It's still good.
You know what, though, Brian? The whole thing boils down to this: your political beliefs are based on your morals and your ethics, your integrity. So to say, "Oh, it's just political," it's not. That's who you are. For me, God gave you your children, not the state, not the education system. God gave you your children. We're only here for a few dozen years, if you're lucky, and then we're gone from this world forever, and then we're going home. Back to God. In the meantime, to spread love in the universe and to take care of each other. You know, George Carlin said it best, in my opinion. He said, we should all be acting like there was just a disaster. Is everybody okay? Good, let's get something to eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, this is the heart has like, and it's not, and people do that overdraft where it's like, oh, the country's lost its heart. You look at how the reaction from Charlie Kirk, God bless him, people were pulling together candlelight vigils and singing. It was beautiful.
Spontaneously, nationwide. Hey, listen, I'm going to move. I got a lot of people on hold, but call me again sometime. You're a good caller. If you're new, are you new to me?
I just subbed.
Oh, welcome. Well, welcome to the channel. You're a great caller.
God bless you, sir.
And I love that phrase. Your vibe attracts your tribe. That's pretty hip. I like that.
Brian, it's yours, man. Have a blessed day.
All right, take care. You guys like that? It's better than birds of a feather flock together, isn't it? That's so done. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm in Delaware, and I am 21.
Okay, what's on your mind?
My name's Nate.
All right, Nate, what's on your mind?
I just wanted to say, from what the FBI has told us about Discord, when they say that he was communicating on Discord, that as being a younger person, I know what Discord is, and if he was using Discord to talk about a gun drop off, then he was definitely talking to somebody else. It wasn't just him. There was no way, because if you're in Discord, you don't use Discord to make notes to yourself. You use Discord to talk to people. Yeah. And so he definitely had someone involved.
You know, Discord, I mean, I don't use Discord. I mean, I'm vaguely familiar with, I mean, I know what it is and such. You know, Discord is, I know this is not an accurate term, but it's kind of like the dark web. It's pretty much unregulated.
Yeah, it's like Telegram too. Telegram is is just like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not monitored. People can sell or make any type of.
People do from what I understand, people do drug deals and stuff on Discord. It's very normal. Very normal, and
you can get pounds. You can get pounds of marijuana in.
Oh, that's crazy.
The mail.
That's crazy.
Right. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it.
There used to be a live stream app like that. If anybody remembers Periscope, Periscope was done by Twitter, and it was kind of like that. That's why they got rid of it. It was totally unregulated and lawless. It was scary. You'd see people doing heroin live on Periscope, and it was part of Twitter. Yeah. You know, and that's kind of what Discord is like. But after he assassinated Charlie Kirk, he was in his Discord group bragging about it.
Yeah. So with that, I feel like someone knew about it, or he talked to someone, or just someone knew about it. Because that was just, I mean, from videos I've seen, there was definitely a lot of fans there, but there was also a lot of haters there. And I've seen people chanting F Charlie Kirk before the thing happened. Yeah. And so when I seen all the videos and all the different groups of people, some people not supporting, some people supporting him, in that type of environment, since I think 5, 6, 7 years ago, I stopped going out to those types of events, because that's always on my mind, because I know how insane the world really
is. I don't go to a lot of events. I don't go to a lot of political events, and if I do, I don't talk about it before in advance because I've had incidents where people that recognize me or something cause trouble, and this week. When Charlie Kirk was killed, the radio station got me security, which I've never had before in my life. And it's a whole, and those of you that watch me regularly, during the week I'm in the studio, and on the weekends I usually live stream out and about at Starbucks or something. And if you've noticed, this weekend I've been in the studio. I haven't been out on the street. And it's.
I don't blame you, because especially if you got people giving you security, that's scary.
Yeah.
It shows us that no one's safe anymore.
No, and no one should have to live that way. And we're not safe because of the Democrats.
Depending on, no matter what side you're on, left or right, just because someone has their views and their opinions nobody deserves to get shot over it. And
That's
then
right.
Just by that happening, it's gonna keep going. It's a slingshot. It's gonna be like pew 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 back and forth. People are gonna keep. It's just gonna keep getting worse because it's just how it is. It's kind of like racism. It's where it's hate.
Yeah.
They hate you because you support that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's how it is.
Well, listen. Welcome to my channel. Are you new? Did you just find me?
Yeah, I just seen you 5 minutes ago.
Well, welcome.
I might as well call in.
Absolutely. I'm here every day. Make sure you subscribe.
Yeah, I also saw hours before, not even, or 10 minutes. It was 30 minutes before they caught or released the real person who got, who did it.
Yep.
But I remember I was seeing people on Reddit. They were talking a lot about this person named Sky Valadez.
Yeah, I know.
I think they went to the school there.
No, they questioned him.
That person,
they questioned him, and it wasn't him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He also, the thing that made me have red flags about him, maybe knowing about it was going to maybe happen, was the song that they made. They made a song
That's
about
right.
that.
Yeah, they
Charlie.
did. Well, listen, I'm going to run to some other callers. There's a lot of people on
song.
hold, but hey, listen, welcome to the channel, all right? And we'll talk again. Call me again sometime, all right? There's one opening on the board. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Richard from Oregon.
Hey, Richard, what's on your mind?
Well, I just have to talk my shit real quick.
I'm sure you do. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Joe from Jersey.
Hey, Joe, hold on, Joe. Let me answer all these lines that are coming in. Joe from Jersey, what's on your mind? Joe, you're there? You're up.
Crazy. I'm here. I'm on the line.
You're on the air. Go ahead.
This is so crazy. The world's going crazy right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Sure
I feel like it's like a next event,
All right. Hey, listen, I appreciate the call. Thanks so much. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Jacob from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Hey, Jacob, what's on your mind?
Well, I was listening to some of what you were saying, and, I don't think that Charlie was a political as much as he was more, a good faith-based Christian. And then, his murder was not political. I think it was more of a Christian, a martyr.
Well, he was both. He was both. No, he was both because while he was promoting Christianity, and Charlie Kirk has a book that is due to be released about the Sabbath in December. I hope they release it early. He certainly was a Christian and a Christian activist, but he was also political in that he advocated for candidates and endorsed candidates and campaigned for candidates. And if you ever went to a Turning Point event, the stage is filled with members of Congress, the president, and all kinds of politicians. So, no, he was both. You can be both.
But I feel more that he was more Christian than he was, political. But nonetheless, just looking at our landscape across the country and how if things are getting progressively worse. But this is the times that we live in. If you're a Christian and you read the Bible, you know that in the last days it's going to get worse before it gets better. And
well, obviously the assassination of Charlie Kirk is really bad. However, we are in the majority. What's happening is these evil doers that were running the country the last 4 years have not only have they lost power, people by the millions have been leaving the Democrat Party, right? Woke is dead. We've been talking about this. Woke's over. The transgendered sports thing is all that stuff's over. And there's a lot of them because there's a lot of people in the country. There's millions of them, but they're not as many as there were a year ago. And what's happening is they're losing power. They've lost power, and they're acting out because they are mentally ill. Right? Like that Office Depot lunatic.
I don't think it's mental illness. I think it's demons, and because if you read the Bible, there's principalities and powers and rulers in dark places, and the earth is the devil's domain.
No doubt.
If you read where the angels were trying to get to Daniel, and they finally got to him and said, "Hey, listen, we'd been here a little bit sooner, but we were having a war in the heavens to get to you."
Somebody in the live, you're absolutely right. Somebody in the chat room said Kirk's movement promoted hate. The opposite is true. In fact, what Charlie Kirk did, and he was doing it when his life was taken from him, he would invite people who have a differing viewpoint and to have discussions with them, right? And there was
whoever said that.
They
obviously
don't.
They're either watching liberal-based media, or they're misinformed because they need to do the research and go and look at all the stuff that he has done.
Yeah, he would talk. He would talk to anyone. And if you watch a lot of these shorts on TikTok and YouTube of him, there's a lot of hardcore radical liberals, and he would have these discussions with them. And
I know. I watch them all the time, and the idiocracy that's out there that people believe certain things over logic is just it's confounding to me. It puzzles me that how people can think that way and act that way, and that they think that to give a definition of a woman, they can't. Like, a woman has a vagina, she gives birth, she can bear children.
Correct. Hey, listen, I appreciate the call. You're right on the money. And this is the thing. I was talking about this these sad couple of days that we've been through. Charlie Kirk was like Martin Luther King in his entire movement. And he had these peaceful, literally sit-ins where he would sit down and have discussions with anyone who disagreed with him, no matter what. And that's that. How's that hate? If he was a hateful person, he wouldn't have these discussions with the other side. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, how you doing, Brian? This is Ryan.
Hey, Ryan.
I'm calling from Oregon.
What's up?
I just wanted to say that I admire what you're doing, and I have a petition, and I'm trying to get it out.
No, I don't want to give out anything. I don't give out websites and stuff unless I know it. So you got DM it to me, and I'll take a look. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from South Carolina.
Okay, turn off the device you're listening to me on in the background. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Charles from South Carolina.
Okay, what's on your mind, Charles?
What's on my mind is I feel that Charlie was a good man. He wanted to be godly, and he claimed to be godly. But if you're a godly man, there's certain things you won't do, and Charlie violated a lot of them. As far as you still there?
Yeah, I'm listening. I can tell you're a Christian man, right?
I am.
All of us are sinners. There was only one man who was not.
Right.
Right? Jesus. So okay, so Charlie was like the rest of us, Christians, a sinner. Yes, we're all sinners. Yes.
Yeah, but the Bible says you live by the sword, you die by the sword.
What's the Bible say about gossiping, which is what you're doing now? And
I'm not gossiping.
Sure, you're saying you're talking trash about a dead man. That's gossip, absolutely. You're talking trash about a dead man. That sounds like gossip.
Trash. I just know that you spread a lot of.
Now
stuff
you're talking trash about me. I mean, what's the Bible say about pointing your finger at people?
You know that Charlie misled thousands and thousands of people.
What did he give me the biggest example of Charlie Kirk misleading people? What did he say that was the most misleading?
What he would do is he would get young college kids who don't even know how to comb their hair or brush their teeth hardly, and he shoot them questions.
No. You said he misled people. Give me an example of him misleading the most. Like, what did he say or do that was the most misleading? You said
what his misleading the people is.
Well, you must have an example. If he was misleading people,
yes, I'm going to give you one.
Give me one.
When he sat up there and talked about how the left, which is the Democratic Party, is starting all this stuff. Both sides are starting stuff. Both sides are equally wrong.
Where are the Republicans killing people? I missed that. The MAGA Republicans, where are they killing people?
Well, who said the Democrats are killing people?
Charlie Kirk was. Excuse me. Charlie Kirk was assassinated by a liberal. A Democrat killed those kids in Minneapolis. President Trump was shot, and they tried to shoot him again. Those weren't conservatives. Steve Scalise was shot by a Democrat. Abraham Lincoln was shot by a Democrat. I mean, where are these Republican murderers that are doing these political assassinations you're talking about? Minnesota, by the way, someone in the chat said Minnesota. No, that Democrat in Minnesota was killed by a liberal Democrat who had a state job appointed by Tim Walz, who had the No Kings March flyers in the car that they arrested him in. Okay, no, that was not a MAGA guy in Minnesota. It was another leftist. Where are the Republicans committing these heinous acts?
I'm not here to talk about politics.
Yeah, of course. All right, appreciate the call. I mean, you're saying things and you can't back them up. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is John from Michigan.
Hey, John, what's on your mind?
What's on my mind is that opinions and ideas are okay, accompanied with the constitutional amendment, the first. When it's not okay is when you force opinions and faith in the form of foreign and domestic policies. That's not okay. Everybody has a constitutional right of opinions and ideas and their faith and any other ideology that they have. And also there's something I wanted you to look up. It's pertaining to the assassination, is U.S. Army Field Manual 3031B. And then the other thing I want you to look at is Operation Gladio.
I'm not going to look this. Just tell me what it is. Tell me what all this stuff is. I don't want to look it up. Tell me what it is. Just tell me.
Okay, so Operation Gladio. Let me get into that a little bit.
Well, briefly, I got a lot of people on hold here, so give me a capsulized version of what you want to say.
According to several Western European researchers, the operation involved using the assassinations, psychological warfare, and false flag operations to delegitimize left-wing parties in the Western Europe countries.
Oh my gosh, what kind of bullshit is this? Where'd you get this at? Where'd you get this at? Okay, slow down. Okay, slow down. So you're telling me that somehow conservatives are behind this trans Tifa shooter that assassinated Charlie Kirk? What are you trying to say?
No, what I'm saying is that with the two things I said, Operation Gladio and then the U.S. Army Field 3031B, is that they're using operations and psychological warfare to push certain agenda.
Okay, I heard this Army crowd. I'm not interested in looking at that. We've got the Charlie Kirk assassin. He turned himself in, right, when his daddy took him. He surrendered himself. Are you telling me that he was put up by MAGA to assassinate Charlie Kirk? What are you saying?
Not necessarily MAGA. If you
Republicans?
look up Operation Gladio,
No. Tell them. I'm asking. I'm not going to look it up. Are you saying that Republicans were behind this assassination?
I'm not saying Republicans or Democrats.
What are you saying other than look up some crap? Tell me what you think.
It's not some crap. I explained it to you. You could also search it up for yourself, and there's footnotes on it.
Who do you think was? Who was? Tell me. I'm not going to put
your video of your green screen. You could pop it up and
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with.
All right, I appreciate the call. I do you guys understand what that guy's saying? I don't know. It's too early in the morning. I don't think he knows what he's saying. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian, my name is Jason from Colorado Springs, Colorado. How are you?
What's up? Home of the United States Air Force Academy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. I got a question for you that I think could resonate with some of your viewers. Now, and I'm sure a lot of us are going through this, and I am going through it as well. When you have a close family member or close relative, or spouse, or whatever you want to call it, but someone close to you that has such a biased viewpoint upon this Charlie Kirk situation that seems unreasonable to have a discussion with. In your mind, how would you approach a situation like that?
You got to be more specific. What are you talking about? Like if I had some liberal kid that didn't like Charlie Kirk?
I guess you can look at it in that sense, but at the same time, let's say a parent or a wife that has such biased viewpoints based upon their interpretation of his rhetoric.
What I've learned, this is the deal, okay? When your kids grow up, you can't control how they think. And so far as people in your family, if they're liberal, I've only in my entire family, there's only one person that is not MAGA, and that even goes for my extended family.
Sure.
So I mean, it's America. You don't have to be MAGA. You can have an opinion. But see, what's different is I don't buy this crap that people around this monster didn't know what he was up to. You can't do what it is he did and people in your circle not be aware of it, especially when after he assassinated Charlie Kirk, he went into his Discord server and was bragging about it. So this isn't a guy that kept secrets. And whether it was his roommate or who, his boyfriend, trans boyfriend, whatever, people knew. And I was talking earlier, that rifle, he didn't just grab that rifle and make that shot. He'd been practicing that shot. He'd been preparing. So he spent a lot of time doing. So if somebody in your circle is a radical lunatic, and then they start getting an interest in guns, you've got to inject yourself and find out what the hell's going on. And you remember the Unabomber, remember the Unabomber, his brother turned him in, and just like this guy's dad turned him in. But when did the family know? And when did the boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever that's all about, know? And of course people knew before he did it that he was up to something. I don't buy it.
So I know that there are a lot of viewers out here that are younger that don't have the ability to have a voice the way that they might want to, and that's really what this question comes down to. Is let's say your mother or your father had this viewpoint. How would you approach a situation?
What viewpoint is that?
What's the best way to put it? The viewpoint of Charlie Kirk is this in a negative light, rather than how. Well,
the way I do this is how I do. This is how I do things. I have one family member that lives on every word that Rachel Maddow spews over her show, and hates MAGA people. Okay. So
I hear you.
So what I see this person once or twice a year. It's coming up. Thanksgiving. Sure. That's the first time. Then Christmas. That's the second time. Then I won't see him again for a year. And this is what I do. Okay. And we're not talking about potential assassins here. We're just talking about liberal a-holes. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Just people who have a negative viewpoint.
So I wear my MAGA hats and stuff. When you wear MAGA gear, I'm of the opinion that you're representing the President of the United States. So I carry myself very well, and I'm always polite, and I don't I don't engage unless they start, and then I'll be polite, be nice, like Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse when they're talking to the bouncers. Always be nice, always be nice. That's kill them with kindness. That's what I do.
And I love that. I love that statement, and I very much appreciate that.
Like, I give you an example. My mother is a lifelong Democrat. She voted Republican for the first time in her life in this last election. She voted for Donald Trump. I didn't convince her of that. I didn't go and tell her, you got to do it because of this or that. Right. And she, Biden, she saw what was going on, and I was shocked when she told me she voted for Trump. I was shocked. She is my grandfather died in the 80s, and he was, good, good. It was pretty exciting, and my grandfather died in the 80s. He was really old when my mom was born, and he was born in 1899, and he was a union leader and everything in the 20s. Yeah, he was in the 20s and 30s. He was a union guy, so my mom was raised that way, and and she's retired, and she voted Republican for the first time in her life. And it's not because I went over there and started preaching and start picking fights. I just, be nice.
So do you find the best way to handle a scenario where someone disagrees with you in a way that you feel very passionate about is, like you said, kill them with kindness?
Yeah, if you listen to this program and I take a call, when there's some liberal, like that first caller, the procreator, you knew he was going to be a total dick when I said, what's your name? As soon as he said his name, right? Right. And if you notice, I'm nice to everyone. There's some regulars like that idiot Renee from Harlem who calls in and calls me terrible names. Hey, Renee, how you doing? I'm always nice. And by the way, that pisses them off more. They want you don't want to fit, you don't want to fulfill the stereotype they have of us.
And I agree with that 100%. And I think that's a very important thing that I believe a lot of people on the opposite side of what we believe, they think that we are such, what's the best way to put it? I believe that they think we are such disingenuous people. They
think we're evil. They think we are evil.
I believe that it's the opposite of that fact.
Yeah, if Charlie Kirk was this evil, transphobic, homophobic bigot, he wouldn't have invited these people to his events to come and speak to him.
I agree with you 100%. And I think, and I want to say this last thing, and then I'll let you go because I know you got other callers on the line. I believe that the second you stop listening is the second violence starts.
Well, yeah, that's a phrase. I don't agree with that, but it's, kill him with kindness. I appreciate the call. All right. I'll take some more calls. If you want to call in, the number is pinned in the live chat if you're watching live. I was just going to stream for a short time this morning. If you missed the beginning of the stream, rewind it, because before I was caffeinated, I went over some important issues before I went to the phones, and you don't want to miss the first caller, the procreator. I should make a YouTube short out of that call. That guy was, what an idiot. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Jeff. I'm from Texas.
Hey, Jeff.
Is this, we're supposed to be speculating about what we think happened at Charlie Kirk's event?
Well, we know what happened. We saw it.
Right. A lot of people are speculating. Now, the previous caller brought up Operation Gladio.
No, it's not. No. Hold on a second here. Excuse me. I'm not going to look up. I'm not going to look.
Can I talk? Or are we supposed to have a discussion? Or
we'll have a discussion, but we'll have it on my terms. It's my show.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, and I'll let you say your thing. I at the beginning of the stream, I played a clip of Charlie Kirk's widow when she addressed the nation on Friday. And in that clip, she says, the evil doers who assassinated my husband, doers is plural, that's not a lone gunman. She has been in long conversations with the president, the vice president, the director of the FBI, and other people who are in the know. So Charlie Kirk's widow, she just didn't say multiple people. That is what she got from the president and the others that are in the know that have told her that.
I agree with you.
So that there's the idea that there's a conspiracy beyond this lunatic, this one assassin, is not speculation. I would say it's fact based on Charlie Kirk's widow's statement. So
absolutely.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm agreeing with you.
Go ahead.
The previous caller brought up Operation Gladio. If you don't understand what that is, you should look it up and ponder over it, and maybe you'll understand what the guy was trying to speculate.
Well, then tell me what you was trying to say. You seem to be in the know of this.
It's a declassified government program for psychological operations.
And okay,
and these are things that have been deployed in foreign countries,
sure,
and also here in America.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, so
you know,
listen.
What I've been saying all week since this tragedy happened, I've said it on this stream 10 times. The same people that killed JFK, RFK, MLK, and shot the president in Butler killed Charlie Kirk. It's the same people.
That's exactly what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that other guy was getting at.
Okay, all right. Thank you for the call. Well, I'm hanging up on you too. You'd be ticking me off. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning, Brian.
Hey, Richie.
Richie.
Hey, Richie.
I woke up. I watched the fight, so I ended up at 3 in the morning. So I'm a little shaky here. I didn't catch all your show. Listen, but I did catch your podcast yesterday afternoon. It's very difficult. First of all, there's no moral equivalency between them and us. You don't take a human life like that. That automatically you're in the wrong. So you can't justify that. These people try to justify it, and it's wrong. That's number one. Number two, you on your podcast you brought up the airplane where he didn't want that black lady was saying that he hated black people. See, the problem with the left is they twist words. They've done it with President Trump, and then they get the press to go along with it. But the online people can take a sentence that President Trump or Charlie Kirk has said and completely twist the whole point of it and make it look terrible. Because you know, so
in fact, Charlie Kirk made Candace Owens famous. She became a national name under Charlie Kirk. She was the press person for Turning Point in the early days.
That black lady that talked about Charlie Kirk didn't want black pilots in the airline. So I'm not going to mention the airline. They were at that. I saw the video. It was shocking when she brought that up on your show yesterday. I saw the video when he was at the college with the black student who had his phone standing there, and he said, and he was preaching that he's a racist because of that, and he said, no, I'm against this DUI. I'm against that because you're not giving people positions on their merit. You're doing it on the color.
What happened? What happened was, and I'll talk about this particular issue. But what they're doing is they're taking sentences of Charlie Kirk from over the years, and editing the context out. And what had happened was the CEO of one of the major airlines was doing an interview and bragging about all the DEI pilots they have. And everybody in the country, including me, was talking about this that week. And Charlie was one of them. And he said, you know, you get on you get on a plane and the pilot's black and you get nervous. You think, well, wait a minute, is he the most qualified or is he a DEI hire, right? And DEI, and I don't think many people would fly on an airplane if they painted on the side of the plane, this plane flown by a DEI pilot. And there's nothing racist about that. It's just, come on.
Yeah, he said, the question was, to Charlie Kirk, would you fly if you saw a black captain pilot? He said no.
Because of the DEI. Yeah, and just after 9/11, after 9/11, people were talking, the whole country, if you got on a plane, right, this was after 9/11 when the planes first started flying, and there were Muslims on the plane, would you get off the plane? And of course you would. After 9/11, hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You know. Now the thing that he brought up, he said this. He said, "Listen, do you follow the National Basketball League?" He says 70% of the this is how he changed minds. 70% of the National Basketball League is black. He says, do you think that if there was a law automatically that we're going to make 50% white, do you think that the quality of the league would go down?
Yeah.
And the guy was all fumbling.
That's right.
Because the black basketball player, Charlie says, is a better player. He's not there because of the color of his skin. He's there because he's a better basketball player.
Correct.
So when you start putting in whites, you actually water it down. he says it won't be as good. And it's the same thing with the airlines or any other industry. But they twisted his words.
Well, you know what? And this is what's going to... Oops, sorry about that. This is what's going to happen, Richie. This is going to be the future with Charlie Kirk because there's so much of him out there, But you notice... the liberals, they just lie. Like this, the one thing that they keep saying, somebody brought it up on the show today. They got this one talking point. Well, what about the MAGA violence? Like these Minnesota Democrats. It was good. That the guy that shot those Democrats in Minnesota was a Democrat. He had the No Kings flyers in his car when they arrested him, and he had his job appointed by Tim Walz. So he was but no matter how many times you tell them, they're going to tell you that he was a MAGA guy. They just make crap up.
Yeah, exactly right. Have you ever heard President Trump say to any Democrat, any voter, he might talk about a politician because he's a politician now, but he'll never attack the voters.
Never does.
Whether you're a Democrat or a Republican.
Never does.
But the Democrats attack us. The Democrats attack us. As voters all the time. They blanket us as this and that. Even President Biden, when he got up there in Pennsylvania, and everything was red, and he had military people in back of him. That was like the devil. You remember the devil's speech? That showed that he was trying to pit one part of the country against the other.
That's right.
They come across and they say, we want to bring everyone together. It's totally the opposite. Mm-hmm. They want to divide. That's why they go after our leaders. And it's disgusting. And they were dead a party of murder. Elon Musk has it right. They are, because they go after voters. They go, and you got that MAGA hat on, MAGA 28. How many times have people called you up and they've been actually go crazy when they do. See that hat?
They hate it.
They go nuts. That's triggering them right away. And the first thing they want to do is hurt you. And this is what they want to do with all of us. They can't. They have to act out like that. And by the way, this kid that was out there that shot Charlie Kirk, okay, his lover was transgender. Charlie Kirk preached that that's against the Bible. It's not right. There's there's this boyfriend, girlfriend, transgendered lover that he was roommates with.
There's no way they didn't know what he was up to. And I know they know they're saying that they're cooperating, but I'd like to know if they were involved in writing all this trans stuff on the bullets and everything.
Well, I'm sure there was a major influence that the fact that the guy's roommate is changing from a man to a woman, which is morally wrong.
Richie, how could this guy be up to this crap and the boyfriend not know? Come on.
No, impossible. To me, it's more than that. There's a website out there that they're all on that they're trying to
Discord.
Some of it.
The Discord.
The whole darn group of them. They hate Charlie Kirk. They even wrote a song before that happened.
That's right.
It's like about the death of Charlie Kirk at 31. It's so bizarre. These people are sick, and they're trying to justify the reason why they're sick. There's no justification, and it's very hard to communicate with somebody who lies to your face. And that's what they do. They totally lie.
That's true.
And twist.
All right, Richie, I'm gonna run, but appreciate the call. I agree with everything you've said. I'll take a couple more calls. If you want to call in, the number's pinned in the live chat. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Rob from New Jersey. How are you?
All right, Rob, what's on your mind?
Hey, this Charlie Kirk assassination was a kick in the gut.
No doubt.
To me.
Yep.
I've honestly been having trouble sleeping about the situation these days.
Yeah.
However, what I find that's helping me is that I'm helping young people be better. I have a stepson who's in law enforcement. I have a son who just graduated from Sacred Heart University and trying to help them be better people. So rather than dwell on the negatives, let's just try to be positive and help the young people. That's my point.
Yeah, no, I agree. All right. Well, listen, thank you for the call and welcome. If you're new to my channel, my name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk, but all viewpoints are welcome. Make sure you subscribe if you are new to my channel. All right. I'm here every day. I live stream. Anytime I'm in the studio, I'm taking calls like I've been doing on this stream. If you missed the beginning, when I sign off, go back to the beginning and watch, because I covered some things at the top of the stream that you will find interesting. I promise you. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Again, my name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Thanks for watching.